Hello guys, welcome to another edition of Ray's Sports News and Debates. Okay, today's video, we're going over our top three teams in the American League, MLB baseball. And this season's been pretty good from what I've seen. My Stros aren't dominating like I thought they would, but we're about at that halfway point. They're finalizing the All-Star teams for this year. But let's get into it. At number three, I think is a sleeper. I think if they get into the postseason, they're going to be a tough out. And that's the Baltimore Orioles. They're 47-29 right now. They're 10th in batting average, 10th in home runs. And the stats aren't going to blow you away. They're 15th in hits, but they're finding ways to win. Bunch of low scoring games, but they're winning. And that's the name of the game, is you got to get wins to get into the postseason. And, if another one of the teams that I'm about to talk about here shortly won the first 14 games of the season, it might be a different conversation. But I would look out for Baltimore. I think they're going to keep winning. I don't think they're going to win the American League East, but I definitely right now have them as the second or third wild card spot going into the postseason. Number two, and this one kind of came out of left field, I'm not going to lie, and that's the Texas Rangers. I know in the offseason they got Jake DeGrom, and I was really, really excited. He's one of my favorite pitchers to watch, although he did just get hurt. But the Rangers in basically a year have turned a whole new league from being, one of the laughing stocks of this division to being the division leader. And they're not just winning the division by a half game or a game. No, they're up 5.5 in 6 games on the Astros and the Angels in the American League West. But they completely came out of nowhere this year. The Rangers are first in batting average, in runs scored, in hits. And it's crazy when you sign a guy like DeGrom, he gets hurt. I was like, okay, I think the Rangers will regress. They'll come back, from cloud nine. But I got to give credit where credit is due. I'm not sure the Astros are going to win the division this year. Now, I think the Astros will make the postseason. But it's hard for me unless, they just go on a tear the second half of the season. And they do play the Rangers a fair amount in the second half of the season, so they can always make those games up. And my number one overall team in the American League right now has to be Tampa. It has to be the Tampa Bay Rays. When you start out a season in baseball, especially, and you win your first 13 games, that's crazy. To start out 13-0, that hasn't been done in I don't know how long. But the Rays might be the favorite to win the American League this year. The only reason I wouldn't have them be in the top is I still feel the Astros are the best team in the American League. Once they get McCullers back in mid-July from his injury, hopefully he's 100% at that point. And Jose Abreu has had a really, really rough year considering, but he's only making $19 million. It's not the end of the world. But when a former American League MVP is giving me, the amount of home runs and batting average that he's given us, I need something to change for Jose. I want him to play, but if you're not hitting, there's only so much I can do. But yeah, Tampa Bay has got to be the big story out of the American League this year. One of the more dominating teams. If I didn't mention it before, the Rangers are 47-30. But the Tampa Bay, they're 54-27. That's a 666 winning percentage. And second place right now is the Orioles, and they're 7 games back right now. And I will give a shout out to the American League East right now. I believe they are the only team that every team is at or above 500. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they're the only team, which is impressive. Because Boston's in last place, and they're either a game above 500 or right at 500. But I mean, when you look at these stats, I mean, Tampa Bay is third in batting average. They're third in home runs. They're second in runs scored. They're second in hits. They're first in stolen bases. They're second in ERA, only to my team, the Houston Astros. But they're second in ERA, and they got the most wins in baseball right now. And I do think it's going to be the Rays and the Astros in the American League Championship series this year. But watch out for the Rays. They can make a run for a pennant this year. But they got to go through. I'm hoping they have to go through my boys in Houston. But yeah, those are my top 3 teams, guys. We got the Baltimore Orioles, the Texas Rangers, and the Tampa Bay Rays. Don't forget to hit that like button, guys. Hit that subscribe button. We're super close to 200 subscribers on here, guys. And until next time, guys, have a good one.